What up, everybody? What's going on? This is SafeWord, a platform for teaching, learning, and opening the eyes of our audience to the world of kink, BDSM, and relationships. You all know who it is. It's your host, Kane Marcos.
And I am your second host, Aurora Storm.
I'm your co-host, Remy DeBow.
And I am your second co-host, Miss Sasha.
In our last video, if you were paying attention, if you were staying tuned, we did a quick little spoof tease on What Is This Up? And we asked a lot of questions, just like the question asking expert Forky from Toy Story. So if you guys saw any of the Toy Story shorts on Disney Plus, we did it in that kind of a style. So if you don't know what style that is, go watch that because they're super cute. And we did ours like that.
Disney, send us free stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Hashtag not sponsored.
And the link to our website and extra content is in the description below.
And since you are here, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button for more educational content around kink, BDSM, and relationships.
And relationships.
Relationships. You sounded really Irish, sir.
So this is SafeWord. And here on SafeWord, we have a SafeWord of the day. We use this SafeWord to stop, halt, and completely put a pause on all topic of conversation. So crew, tonight, would we like to let everybody know what the SafeWord of the day is? If you don't know it, it's right here on the board. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Questions.
Why you asking not?
Remy, it's questions. All right. Questions is the safe word of the day.
Man's got balls in the brain.
Advice at all. Thank you, Miss Sasha.
Come on, that can't. You know what that came from?
Nobody else does those.
No, I know, right? That was like an inside joke that no one else got. So here at SafeWord, we use Zoom, and Zoom sometimes has audio issues. So if you are saying the safe word of the day and no one is stopping, we have a symbol that we throw up so that we know, oh, shoot, the safe word has been said. Can everybody show us what that is? Cacao. All right, so throw that symbol up. Make sure that you say the safe word of the day, which is question, so that everybody knows what it is. And yes, now you have a safe word of the day. Okay, Mr. K, do you have hot topics?
We forgot something though.
Oh yeah. Hold on. Hold up. Okay.
Sorry,
first and foremost, thank you, Miss Sasha. She keep me in line.
Gotta bring up our roll dog.
Right. We have a hardcore fan follower of SafeWord, and we make sure that we shout him out every single show because he rocks with us every single show. So crew, can we say hello to our fan favorite? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
What up,
Hey,
Roy?
Roy. What up?
Hey, Roy. All right. So yes, hello, Roy. Thank you for rocking with us. Thank you for watching every show. Thank you for supporting us. We're here for you. You're here for us. We love you. All right, Mr. Kane, do you have hot topics?
Yes, I do. I'm actually excited about the hot topics tonight. So no bad or sad news. Yay.
Nice. Thank goodness.
All right, but
Look at
definitely some wild shit. So let's get into it. Earlier this week, we celebrated an anniversary. I mean, I don't know if you want to call it an anniversary or celebrate it, but on August 24th in 79 AD, Mount Vesuvius erupted, wiping out the city of Pompeii. Right?
Okay.
So I actually did a little bit of research just because, it popped up in, a lot of local news and my feeds and everything. Started looking into it and found out a lot of really crazy and cool information. Like, did you know that Pompeii was actually a bigger sex city than Las Vegas, New Orleans, Atlanta, all of them combined?
Wow.
I did not.
Combined?
That's amazing.
Combined. Wow. Okay.
It was actually and actually survived for a lot longer as a pleasure city than all of those also combined. So a lot of people didn't know this, but Pompeii was actually a trading port. So all of the civilizations during that time period would make port in Pompeii for, spices, things like that, trade, commerce, and also to visit the illustrious and infamous pleasure houses that were literally littered throughout the entire city. If you needed help finding one, there were phallic symbols that all pointed in directions like guiding stones to your nearest closest local brothel.
Just in case we're slow, what's a phallic symbol?
It's a penis.
Okay, well.
Hey now. Hey now. So wait, there were like signs with penises on them, or like what was
like literally cobblestones, penises carved into cobblestones, penises carved into walls, penises carved into lampposts, just
So
all of them on statues, all over the city. Just if you saw a penis, wherever it pointed at would either guide you to another penis or a brothel.
Another penis,
so like they were waypoints.
It was like the universal like braille symbol, like even find field for the that's okay.
Right. If you want this, you go this way and find another and find another until it leads you to get your pleasure.
So everybody kind of thinks I had to like the city with a tragic history, like, oh shit, this volcano erupted, wiped out all civilization. They were, they built too close to it, used as a cautionary tale for architects, just all kinds of stuff. But the dark or, the secret history of it is that, yeah, it was a pleasure city. One of the most famous brothels and largest pleasure houses in the city was called the Lupanar, which translates to wolf's den.
Wait, wolf's den, like a wolf, like a dog?
Yeah, like howling at the moon, a wolf.
Hey now, wolf's den.
So
change the name of this show.
At this celebrated brothel and this, exotic pleasure house, 2 loaves of bread and a liter of wine could get you the services of a prostitute for an entire night.
That don't cut it now.
Just wait, I think we're getting back there.
Right? I know.
No,
the way everything's
right. Anytime soon. Here, really girl. Don't think that's gonna happen.
Here, girl. Feed your children. Here's some bread.
I may be wrong. I'm not an archaeologist. I'm just I'm a passionate reader. And from what I can tell about this article that I read, they discovered the Lupanar in 1862. Right. So they were doing archaeological excavation and found the remnants of this pleasure house. And inside of it, now this is where it gets a little fuzzy, where I don't understand. There was 2,000-year-old erotic images mosaically inlaid into the floor and walls. So I don't know if that's 2,000-year-old from the city, like the city had been operating that for 2,000 years, or if the actual mural itself was 2,000 years old in 1862.
Wow.
Whoa. That's
either
crazy.
Way, that place was a sex city for, up to or over 2,000 years. There's a lot of really good information on it. I have been, all week just fascinated, learning more and more about all of these places. Just wanted to give you guys a little quick tidbit, just in case you guys wanted to look into it for yourselves.
Before you move on. Yeah, Remy has something to add to that.
What up?
Hey, you got to wonder if somebody's wife looked back and she turned into a pillar of salt.
Right?
Very true. Yeah.
Just one last look at the ivory walls.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So on everybody's mind this week, I'm sure everybody knows. And if you don't know, I don't know what you're doing on this page because you're a saint. OnlyFans has been in the center of a lot of controversy lately.
Yes.
Last week, around sometime, they put forth a decision that they were going to start banning explicit content, which doesn't make a lot of sense, as that whole foundation of that company was kind of built on explicit content.
Yep.
2 million creators in a period of 11 months got that company $5 billion.
Holy cow.
Billion.
Not million, billion. Sex sells.
2 million content creators. Well, so I don't know what the exact issue is. Okay, I'm not an archaeologist or, a financial advisor. But from the sounds of it, it just sounds like they were having issues with banks that didn't want to be affiliated with a site that paid out publishers, creators based on sexually explicit content. So MasterCard, Visa, American Express, all of them were withdrawing their support for this site just because they didn't appreciate or like the manner of content that was being created that they were supposed to be paying out for. But if they were making their money, they should have just got their money. I don't understand what the big deal is. I think it's all just like some kind of big publicity stunt for free advertising, because earlier this week, they suspended their decision to ban sexually explicit content. So all of that content's still there. They worked out a deal with the bank, which I don't know if you've ever tried to apply for a loan. They don't get back to you within a fucking week. So how they got that decision, back so fast, who knows?
You know what?
A ploy. I think that was them to raise awareness that they do have another side of the platform. And if they cause all this controversy, it would cause people to start putting a lot of their content out, or people who like the fact that they don't have adult content rushing over there. So regardless, they just blew their. That was brilliant.
That was smart. It was smart. It was free marketing. I mean, literally, it was free marketing. It's in everybody's mouth right now.
Why do you think they misspell your name on your Starbucks cup?
Right.
If somebody was smart, for all of these big name companies that didn't want to support their platform, those little name companies should have came in and got those billions.
There's
one of them
creators. Go ahead,
I'm
bro.
sure.
One of them did. There was a site that was already up and coming, ready to cash in on OnlyFans misfortune. It was a site called Fansly.
Ooh, okay.
So that site was willing to produce, endorse and push your content no matter what it was.
Tyga's even starting his own platform.
A lot of the creators on there were pushing for it. I'm sorry, what was that?
No, Tyga, he's even starting his own platform. And a couple of their really big adult stars that are like into this rogue kind of rapper video content, they're all starting their own platform. So hopefully it's a well-rounded, diverse platform for everybody to get their money and feel included now.
Yeah.
And they always got Clubhouse.
Well, before you move on to the next story, Roy actually has a question. He said, he goes, laughing out loud, what did I miss? And he said, didn't it turn into a Bible story about the Pompeii?
Sodom and Gomorrah, yes.
Yeah.
OnlyFans is not in like Proverbs, sir. No, it's not.
And I told him I would ask Kane, but I just, it was
the book of Revelation.
Letting the story go. All right, go ahead,
Old
Kane.
Ash, same difference, Yeah, so I mean, like, that's just the OnlyFans controversy. I honestly think it was kind of like a ploy for, free publicity, because a lot of the creators on OnlyFans started pushing sales. Like, hey, before all of my content gets deleted on October 1st, here's a flash sale. Here, grab all of my content for this price. And a lot of people, cashed in on that. And what do you think happened with the banks? They probably had to pay out another $5 billion just because of, everybody trying to grab it before it was gone.
Well, and I mean, here's the deal. Even with them doing all of the marketing and strategically saying, oh, we're changing our platform, SafeWord jumped on. I mean, we all have a freaking OnlyFans. So, but there is another side of OnlyFans. It doesn't have to be completely explicit content. So it's up to each host, each individual on what you see on that OnlyFans. So make sure that you join. Okay. Sorry. Just, shameless plug. Go ahead.
All right. So the last thing that I got for you guys tonight, I want to give you guys the headline, and then I want to break down the story because the headline was gold. It caught my attention.
Okay.
Belgian woman banned from Antwerp Zoo after 4-year affair with a chimpanzee.
Excuse me, so what?
What? Hold on. What? Question.
I'm glad I wasn't drinking when you said that.
Belgian woman banned from Antwerp Zoo after 4-year affair with chimpanzee.
How?
What? Okay, I didn't
like regular, like
I just want to get your guys' input on this real fast. So what do you think was going on?
Well, it says
gorilla dick.
Right. I mean, it says an affair though. So like, is she married and she fell in love with a chimpanzee? What happened?
Is it an affair? Is the chimpanzee
if that happened, if she ended up leaving her husband for a chimpanzee, that man promptly should have hung himself. Like that's
right.
Yo, they got.
I don't know how you mentally stand. Like, how do you be in a bar? Like, my wife left me for a chimpanzee. Like, for real? Like, hey.
There's nothing to say after that. Like, I couldn't even.
Let me grab one for you.
Like, look, my mom just called me. Yes, ma'am. I
gotta go. The church is calling me. I need to go pray.
The streets is calling the name. I gotta go.
My thing is, I can like literally imagine. That's crazy.
I couldn't even picture that. Like, I know when I was a kid, I would see stuff on Rotten.com and you would see like some of those type of clips that I'm like, I could never fathom anything of the sort, not even to look at, just to be curious.
I mean, if you're into it, you into it, but
No
I'm
offense.
not. That's a hard limit for me. So
It ain't my thing. With peace
it's
and
not my
love,
thing,
it
but I ain't
for
gonna
me.
judge you if it's yours.
All right, all of you, get your minds out of the gutter. It's not what you think.
Oh, okay. Oh gosh. Oh. Man.
Oh, well, why you let us
See what you did? Making us look like crazy
like
over here.
judgy little church ladies over here.
All right, so like
somebody
I
with a
said, that was the
chimpanzee mask.
headline. And like I said, it caught my attention. So I started reading through the article, and I honestly thought that there was some type of penetration, sexual attraction, or some kind of coital relationship that was happening between the two.
Okay.
It wasn't the case. There was I guess, like, the only way that they could phrase it or describe it was to call it an affair. So that's why the presses ran with an affair. But what it was is this lady visited the zoo at least once a week and had her attention specifically centered around one chimpanzee named Cheetah. Chita. So not like Cheetah the cat.
Okay.
Affair, cheetah. Okay, go ahead. You a cheetah.
What she would do is she would go during visiting hours, and she would spend a lot of time on the other end of the glass, spending time with Cheetah. They had hand signals. They would blow kisses to each other, and it started out, kind of meaningless and innocent, but it ended up turning into an issue because the more Cheetah spent time focusing on a human, like interaction, the less he was embraced by the rest of the community of fellow chimpanzees within the enclosure, which started to create an issue as he was ostracized and outcast within his social group in the zoo.
Oh.
And so after 4 years, Cheetah was only around just for this one specific patron that would come to the zoo, and all the other times, even outside of visiting hours, he was outcast by the rest of his group. So the zoo felt it necessary to ban this lady from the zoo and continuing to come by, so that way Cheetah would have a chance at harmonizing with his fellow chimpanzees. I don't know what you call a group of chimpanzees, like a flock or a group.
Like reinstate yourself, like recalibrate yourself to your community.
So the rest
your
of them
community, leave him in his community alone.
Right, for real.
Well, and if you think about it, like, it sounds really bad, like, oh, you're just ending this whole relationship, so to speak. Like, this lady would come at least once a week. I mean, that's a damn good zoo patron, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
But she came once a week, spent time, and the rest of that time he was ostracized. So for 1 or 2 hours, or even if the complete visitation was 8 hours a day and she stayed there, that's only 8 hours out of the week that the rest of the time he's being shunned, outcast, denied food, denied shelter, denied
22 hours a day, pretty much.
So the tagline on that caught me. I was like, oh, what was that a zoo worker?
Yeah.
Was he a keeper? Was
We were like, what?
I thought it was a zoo worker. For real.
Like, that chimpanzee was earning extra bananas on the side. What the?
That was like, but that's crazy. She really had an intimate relationship with a whole chimpanzee, and this was the nature of their relationship, caring for this chimpanzee, and that fulfillment. That's crazy.
That was good. Those are good hot topics.
Thank you. And that's it for tonight's hot topics.
Woo! All right. So let's.
That was sad.
All right. You said you had no sad stories.
Made me spit my water.
That's not water. We all know.
All right.
Supposed to swallow, not spit.
Not water, man. It's vodka.
Questions.
Man.
It's not.
All right. So we're gonna kick off this show tonight. All right. So in our video this week, the DOMs of SafeWord seemed very confused. Yeah. See, we were asking a lot of questions, and we apparently had a ton of questions on just what a sub is, right? And we kind of left our audience on what of a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah.
So tonight we're here to answer those questions and take a deep dive on just what a sub is and what it looks like to be a sub. Okay. If you watched our last live show, you would know that most of the hosts of the show have at least dipped their toe in the pond or dabbled in the world of being a sub, if for nothing else than to know a sub's perspective. But tonight we're going to be talking about the perspective all the way around, what it looks like, answer some of those questions for you. So with that being said, each one of us can bring a little bit of knowledge to this because we've all stepped into that, that side of the pond. And we've definitely done our research tonight too, because I don't think anybody here is full on a sub. So we brought research for you guys tonight as well. So Miss Sasha, would you like to kick off the show tonight and explain exactly what is a sub?
I guess so, since I'm expected. I'm the baby dom or got a little baby in training. But
You don't graduate a girl.
Yeah. So, well, first and foremost, a sub is not a doormat. Let's just get that clear. I know it's painted and depicted as that, like a very meek sheep-like person that is clamoring at the beck and call of someone in adversity. And no, that is not what it is, contrary to popular opinion. But a sub is actually a male or a female, and is someone who shows submissive traits in their personality. This submissive trait is more so in scene, so if in a BDSM scene or within their relationship. And it's more so because they're the person in the relationship that's the simp, the softer one, just so everyone can get a full scope of kind of what I mean. Just the empathetic one. You're more attentive, you want to care, you're more compassionate, you're more just the soft person in the situation. So you would assume the sub's position because you want and you have a desire in the scene, you have a desire to not be in control. Okay. So with that being said, a sub makes a choice to act as the bottom. That's not going to be their automatic go-to just because you're the empathetic or the softer simp. That doesn't mean that. But a sub will allow themselves to become the bottom, and they will allow the dominant to take the ownership and take the reins in the scene. But just because they would like to relinquish that does not mean that the dom is, that doesn't mean that the sub is powerless. As it's depicted in books, of course, a sub always gives up all of their control, and like in 50 Shades of Grey, she gave up all control. That was the person in control. But actually, the sub usually has more control when it's a healthy play scene. So, contrary to popular opinion. So, a sub might have a submissive nature in their everyday life. At work, they kind of like to take a back seat. But
that's not always what they can have, right? Subs can also.
Exactly. They can also have a dominant role in their everyday life. And it's filled with controlling every aspect of what goes on in a day-to-day life. A submissive can develop these traits by being someone who is predisposition, kind of just grew up wired that way, that they want to be a people pleaser. They like to develop this way of needing that release to relinquish the control with the play scene. So they can also wish to display their submissive tendencies during consensual sex as well. So not just in scene, not when they're in BDSM or kink, they can also assume this role just in a regular hanging out situation with someone.
Right.
There's also what is the difference between a submissive being a submissive person and not just sexually. So if you're wanting to be cared for, it's not the same as being a submissive in the terms of BDSM, the lifestyle, should we say. This would be more of someone who wants to be guided. They want someone to be a facilitator, someone that they look up to, someone to help them keep themselves in line in more aspects than just a physical relationship.
Very true.
So if you are submissive, and this is in the sense of how we illustrated prior, you in your title, you would have a lowercase s. So that means you're taking you're a submissive person who's taking the back seat in the relationship.
Right.
And
so what you're saying real quick, because I found this really interesting, and I like you just said it. So this is pretty interesting. Like if you're a sub within placing or in the BDSM lifestyle, when you go to write that, you'd write it with a lowercase s, right?
Yeah.
So like not just if you're just like a regular submissive person, you kind of like to take the back seat, but so would you use that lowercase s if you're just like kind of like chilling and you're like, I just like to take a back seat, but I don't want to live the BDS lifestyle? Would you use the same small case?
I think that would be necessary. But sometimes there are, let me break it down, okay? Because there's different ways that we can do that. Okay, so being a sexual submissive, that is an adjective. And when you are a sexually submissive person in your relationship, you allow your partner to be the one in control in the sexual situation. Okay. So maybe you wear the pants, you facilitate day-to-day life, but when you are in your sexual arena, you like to be the one in control. You allow your partner to be the one in control. You probably prefer your partner to be a little bit more aggressive, the one that gets things going. When it does come to initiation, almost like a baby pillow princess, a whole nother conversation.
There we go,
if you want to be a pillow princess.
Sometimes it's good.
Like sometimes we just like to chill, you know. But sometimes even in this submissive role, being sexually submissive, you could assume no role because there's other aspects of being a submissive, and we'll go into those later, I'm sure. But even in the sexual relationship, there's not a power exchange. You are relinquishing, you're giving. It's not like we're both getting something. We've done, you know, some vetting of each other, so we're hitting each other's boxes. No, you are just getting that. Their boxes are getting hit.
Yep. You're laying down, taking it, he's giving it to you, or she.
The pillow princess, the softer side, the more, I do declare. That is being a sub in the adjective sense. So being a submissive in the noun sense, you are something. You take the role of a submissive in a dynamic or placing in BDSM lifestyle. Okay. Like when you are in scene, not necessarily your relationship or your day-to-day life, but you look to tap into your submissive side strictly in scene. So with that, you are submissive to a dominant master. It's not like a power. You have a dominant master, or dominant or master, not both. Those are two different things. I don't want to confuse them.
Sorry. What? He's singing a song. He's like, master. He's rocking out.
Oh, don't get okay. No,
getting off topic.
But the reason, sex is not necessarily the reason for your choice to be submissive. It could be mentally gratifying. It could be a release. It could be therapy for you. But it's not just a sexual thing. It's more of a lifestyle choice, and it's more of you allowing someone to help you keep your mind in order. This is more psychological. It's more, you need this kind of person to be your clinician and tell you what you need to do, what you would like to accomplish, what you cannot do, what your punishments are. Within that kind of dynamic, it's a give-take situation to make sure the boxes are being checked. Right. That is a submissive that is in a power exchange. We are on the same page. We are making sure we're checking all the boxes and doing everything for
your negotiation. Like Correct. You'd have a negotiation if you're a submissive versus being a submissive person. A contract. As Mr. Kane holds up his contract, he's like, would you like to sign on the dotted line?
It's like the Declaration of Sexual Independence and Liberation. For the USS of sex.
USS of sex. I love it.
Sergeant Sexual. Okay. So, but it is important to know that being a sub also means that you are consenting to being abused. You are consenting to take this this treatment. That's what you would like out of it. So unlike BDSM, abuse has no limits, or there's no safe word. You are taking it on to take it to push it to the limit. That's what you want to do.
Yeah.
So if you are a sub and you're very careful, you have to be very careful to not just get so caught up in the moment you're giving. You lose control. You don't want to lose control. You don't want to just be giving your submissive traits to just anyone. True submission has to be earned first. I think in any aspect of any relationship, submission.
That's really important. And I'm not to cut you off, but that is extremely important. Like true submission has to be earned. Like, don't just give that to anyone, for real. Like if you're going to step into this arena, make sure that you're, it's earned. It's freaking earned.
Right. Just like you would in your vanilla relationship, if you're pseudo dating and going through all that, you're in king scene, but you have to make sure that you're vetting somebody and they've earned that spot.
Mm-hmm.
But there's many bad doms out there, and you have to make sure that you're not running into any predators. There's a lot of people out there looking to what is it called?
Manipulate and lead you down the wrong
road. They're looking to groom subs or younger women or whatever into this. So you need to be in search of a dom that's willing to engage with you and open up. A dom doesn't just say no what I say. You want to vet that person. You want that person.
And what does vetting mean?
Vetting means that you are asking personal questions. You are telling this person what your sexual history is. This is what I need to go through. What is your history? Where have you worked? What is your specialty? You're making
sure if you guys vibe well together, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, like a date, like going on a date, you ask 21 questions on the first date. When you feel like you want a job interview, you're like, why are you asking me all these same questions?
Yep.
That's vetting. And there's nothing wrong with that. You want to make sure you're having that healthy dialogue. And there are some challenges that can arise with being a sub. It's not all peaches and cream just because you agree to disagree or you agree to get what you want. There are some challenges that can arise. And with being a sub, I'm sure Kane can tell me or tell us some experiences that he's had helping his subs through some of their challenging moments or some of their, hurdles. So Kane, can you tell us a little bit about what that looks like, bro?
Yeah, for real. Yeah, you ain't never ran into subs with any challenges. I know you ran into some subs with challenges now. I think we all have.
Now. You lucky I didn't go full Brad, so I know you got plenty of content.
That's later.
I got so much I had to take some notes. So if you all see me look down, it's because I'm checking my notes because there is a lot of information I want to put out there. And also, just real quick, we are going live on Patreon shortly after this live on YouTube, and we're going to be touching on a little bit more about sub history and even possibly delving into a situation that your four favorite doms dealt with a bratty sub. So if you are not already a member of our Patreon, you might want to start getting on top of that so that way you don't miss a beat.
We've got a good one for you tonight. We've got a good
one. Piggyback and get on over there.
But yes, man, issues with subs, subs with issues surrounding sub life.
I don't know what you mean.
Where do we start? So
where do we start?
Like first and foremost, like to be a sub, the sub is always looking to make their master proud, is always looking to showcase their dominance, ability and everything by way of their own behavior. So much like, they say that child's behavior is a reflection of their parents, the same way a sub's behavior is a reflection of their dom's ability.
Most definitely.
A sub is always looking to conduct themselves modestly, respectfully, because they know that their behavior is a reflection of their dom. But there's a lot of challenges that come in with being a sub. And if you've ever heard anything psychological ever in your life, then you know that a lot of issues and problems can be broken down into two categories, and it's no different with submissives. It comes down into internal and external struggles. So if you'd care to take a deep dive with me, everybody thinks that, being a sub is very easy, and it's, not the hardest thing in the world. You don't have to have a certain level or degree of intelligence to be submissive. You don't have to have a certain degree or level of strength to be submissive. In fact, you're often seen as weak for being submissive. But we'll get into that. So when we're talking about internal and external struggles that submissives go through, you really have to look at, certain internal struggles, such as as a sub, you are your own worst enemy. Your mind gets the better of you. And that's not just true in submissive culture, but just, in life, just life.
What kinds of things in life?
Always. So they deal with certain roadblocks, barriers, just obstacles within their own heads. Am I making my dom proud? Am I doing this right? Is this what I still want to be doing? Is this, in line with my negotiations? Am I doing this correctly? How long am I going to keep this up for? How much more of this can I take? If one more of these, if it hurts like that, then I'm going to, say my safe word. Do I want to say my safe word? Just 1,001 questions run through the mind of a sub in a scene at any given moment.
Yeah.
And as a dom, you really have to pay attention to make sure that you are facilitating their needs in a way that they're able to escape their mental restrictions in order to enjoy the physical gratification of a dom sub relationship. And then you get into external struggles. So compound all of those internal things, your mind being your own worst enemy, and then put all that into perspective when dealing with bills, health, work restraints, time restraints, scheduling conflicts, family. If you have kids or you're taking care of elderly parents, your outside responsibilities. A lot of people don't understand that when you take on the role of a submissive, you are devoting your time, energy, and wherewithal to your dominant. And that goes without saying 24/7. So if the dominant is requesting something of you, a lot of times a sub will do their best or utmost to facilitate their dom's request at the downfall of putting off or shirking off their actual personal responsibilities.
Yeah.
So as a dom, you really should, be mindful to make sure that your sub isn't putting off too many of their legitimate responsibilities in order to facilitate your request. But it happens, and submissives more often than not will put off personal responsibilities in favor of making their dom proud or happy. So a lot of times people on the outside looking in on a dom sub relationship, as we said before, think that, that person is weak-willed or weak-minded, to be a sub. It is exactly the opposite. And it's time that we kind of end this social stigma surrounding, what it is to be a submissive. Some of the submissives that I've dealt with have been some of the strongest willed, almost stubborn to a fault in their mental, physical, and emotional states. And that is probably one of the more intriguing aspects of a dom sub relationship.
Yeah.
So being a sub isn't for the weak-willed, isn't for the weak-minded. Nope. Those traits will actually make for a very rotten sub. So you do have to have a certain degree of mental toughness. You do have to have a thick skin and a willingness to participate in a lot of these acts, even though some of them may be uncomfortable, but they're uncomfortable within a degree of your comfort, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
So you're pushing your boundaries and your limitations, but you're not exceeding them.
To the level of excitement, not to the level of diving to the point of like losing control.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like everybody says, like, I'm not afraid of heights, I'm afraid of falling. So
right.
That part right there.
Yep. Exactly.
It's like if you knew you would live, if you knew you'd be okay, there's a lot of things that you would do.
You do get to the point where you're scared of falling, because once you hit a door, you never know like how far that rabbit hole go. So it's a fine line.
And so another problem that I've dealt with subs is social stigma and societal constraints.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah.
Oh my God. So everybody, let's just take it as something as simple as gender. All right. Okay. So everybody, either puts women into one of two categories. As of late, women have adopted the I am woman, hear me roar, strong, independent, don't need no man, woman, or entity to take care of me. I am self-sufficient. I'm a self-starter. So imagine, somebody trying to portray themselves as a dominant woman in their field of play, requesting to be submissive. And then it's just, like, well, they get a lot of flack, they catch a lot of hell from other women saying, take that mentality back to the 50s if that's what you want.
Especially feminists. Feminists would be all over that. I mean, they're the ones that stand for women standing for themselves, not needing anybody. So how can you honestly sit here and go, oh, I want to be submissive, I want to be told what to do, I want to be put in my place? That would be a really hard one to deal with. That would be a challenge, mentally for a sub. So yeah, that's a really great point.
Some of my favorite instances were being in a dungeon and running into feminists and having them, kind of look down on me and, oh, I'd never let you, or, like, don't look at me. And then have their actual dom, who is another female, say, shut the hell up.
Right, for real.
And it's just like, satisfying, like just karma.
Yeah.
It's
And it's just from a lack of understanding, but that's what we're here to do, is kind of explain that, like, there's nothing wrong with being a sub. If you want to step into that world, there is nothing wrong with it.
There's such thing of wanting to relinquish, because what if you don't want to be in control? Sometimes you just want to lay back and let someone else be in control. That doesn't mean you're submissive. That doesn't mean you're a pushover. That doesn't mean that you're a meek person. It's like you tired.
Yeah.
Well, and that goes into like the societal perception of what a man should be. Everybody thinks that men are supposed to be strong, powerful, intimidating, caretakers, providers, just grab the bull by the horns to overcome obstacles and provide for their families. So imagine when a man says that he wants to be submissive, then he's viewed with a certain level of scrutiny that, really downplays his manhood, really illegitimizes his, his role as a man.
Well, the social construct that's put around men. Yes, definitely.
Yeah. So a man requesting to be submissive is often, back in the day before the LGBTQ community started, to really confront a lot of these issues head on, before homophobia was, running rampant. If you were a man who played a submissive role, you were called, outside of your name, to the effect of being homosexual, being a very feminine homosexual, like, so to say. And those were, some of the things that really took men down like 7 or 8 notches, when all they're trying to do is explore areas outside of the norm.
Right. And they should be free to do that.
Absolutely.
Social construct shouldn't run in BDSM lifestyle. It just shouldn't.
Right.
But
So one of the last issues that we'll talk about, because there's certainly a ton of them, but one of the big ones that I've always seen is the behavioral modification it takes to step into the role of a submissive, especially when submission is a role you play within a dom sub relationship and not in your everyday life. So just like Miss Sasha was talking about being sexually submissive and being a submissive, having to step outside of that behavioral trait of, hey, I'm dominant in every other aspect of my life except for in the play scene. It's really, it's a lot of work to set yourself up mentally to prepare yourself for what's going to happen inside that scene, because it is going to be outside of the norm. It is going to be a lot different than what you're used to, and you are going to have to roll with a lot of it. Yes,
I've got a question for you. So what would happen, like behavioral modification, let's say, like if you're in a 24/7, and a 24/7 means that you're in a live-in situation, most likely, and it's all the time, 24/7. Like, how would you, is it easy to go through behavioral modification when you're dealing with something like that?
I want to say that it gets easier over time, just because that's going to be the more of your time that it takes that you're inside that role, the easier it is to be inside that role. But there can be an instance where we like to say, the sub will start topping from the bottom.
Oh, okay.
And that is when a sub starts taking a little bit more liberty and asserting more control than is, for lack of a better word, allowed. So, if that's not within the negotiations, how much control a submissive will have, and they overstep their bounds, then renegotiation needs to occur. Things of that nature need to happen in order to reestablish structure within that relationship.
Right. And a dom can call the safe word too. So if somebody's topping from the bottom and that's not within your negotiation or your contract or anything you guys have spoken about, it's someone that's being a bratty sub or stepping outside of your negotiation. So say the safe word, stop it, and renegotiate.
If you're switched, then you have to kind of identify with yourself, like, yeah, I'm kind of switching right now. Like, can we, instead of 24/7. I need you to dom me. I need you to master me right now.
Right,
And
right.
it's okay to do that too.
And that plays into that behavior modification, because if you are topping from the bottom, it's because you're not in the proper mental state. You are looking for more control, and it's because of internal and external struggles that are influencing your decision to try and exert more dominance within the scene than you are entitled to.
So how do you correct something like that as a dom? Like,
You beat
what
him.
what have you done? What have you done, Mr. Kane, to
I definitely make strides and efforts to try and wrangle in the behavior, as long as it doesn't exceed too far out of the negotiations, in order to, try to get them back on track.
right?
But if it seems, like they just want to be a bull in a china shop, then, hey, safe word gets said, renegotiations occur, and, you almost have to deal with the degree or level of shaming that individual into, hey, this is what you asked for. This is what you negotiated. This is what you were expecting. This is what I'm delivering. And this is you breaking these rules.
Yep.
So if this continues to occur, then we're going to redraft our contract, and we're also going to redraft the tribute.
Right.
And usually when you start messing with tribute is when subs start to act a little bit more within the constructs of their negotiations.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yep, definitely.
And that structure is what DOMs need. That structure is what DOMs exert their control in, because like we've said before almost 100 times, the submissive is in control within a play scene. The dominant is there to facilitate the fantasy of the submissive. And so as a dominant, you are really paying attention to the rules, regulations, and structures in order to keep that sub in place. And it's for the sub's safety.
Well, and it's to keep the play scene going too, the fantasy, like
absolutely.
You fall out of the fantasy if people are breaking rules and stuff, and you have to keep stopping.
Again, when you have to keep stopping, when they start breaking the rules of the fantasy, is when you start getting into an area where that sub safety gets called into question. Because if they're going to continue to brat out, if they're going to continue to act out, then who's to say that they don't, hurt themselves within the play scene by, tripping over something, acting out, running away. That if that's not negotiated, like, oh, you're going to have to chase me, and a dom isn't expecting it. When that sub takes off running and the dom isn't chasing, when that sub turns around, they can run into a door, trip over St. Andrews.
I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen.
Take off running.
I've seen it happen. People get accidentally flogged in the midst of a sub running off. I think
Sorry. Let's see if you wait. Okay, go ahead.
Well, I've actually seen it happen where like a sub will run off and run away, and they're doing their bratty thing, but it's outside of negotiation. And so the dom doesn't know what to do. I've been caught in a crossfire. I've told this story before, where the sub runs off and hides behind somebody, and the dom's just like, what the heck? And then the person that's not even in the play scene gets caught with the flogger. Yeah. So don't do it. Don't act outside of the construct in your contract, please.
Don't do it.
And if you're a sub watching this and you're trying to figure out how to get somebody not in the play scene caught in the crossfire, you're an asshole.
Right, for real.
Out of pocket.
If that's all you took from Miss Aurora's little spiel there, then you're a problem.
You need to be oiled and feathered on a St. Andrews cross with a ball gag in your mouth. That's how you're at.
Yeah, right.
Next to an anthill.
Oh, right, wow. We ain't going that far, but yeah.
So last thing, and then I'm going to give it over to Remy so he can beguile you with his vast knowledge of being a submissive. As a sub, you really have to stay in a mindset of self-preservation. You're really going to want to sit down with yourself, take a mental inventory, and make sure that at all times within a play scene that you are mentally in control of your faculties, so that way you don't make mistakes, you don't force your dom to make mistakes, and a play scene can go off without a hitch.
Exactly.
So without further ado, Mr. Remy, please tell us all about your submissive experiences.
When did you become submissive? I think that's why.
Just explain some things that you may look for in a sub, Remy. So some things
for starters,
people try to do it to him before
what
he
makes
talks.
a good sub?
For starters, as a sub, you really need to get to know yourself.
Facts.
You got to know yourself.
Facts.
What am I into? You got to think about that. What do you want to do? what do you like to do? What are some things you'd like to try?
For real.
You know?
Yeah.
What are some things you would need as a sub? You gotta think about reassurance, aftercare, being micromanaged, pain,
Yeah, like are those
etc.
things you would
There's a
need?
lot of concepts and things that subs go through that you really got to pay attention to. And all of this is just part of the journey of self-examination that submissives is that a submissive is on from the moment that he or she realizes they are submissive.
Mhm.
Now, a sub has to learn what being submissive means, learn what their limits are, what desires truly mean, and how to find expressions for them. Now, we got to create like a short list of
I like it. Okay. Like
what's all right, what's good, what makes a good sub. All right, so one would be obeying. All right, you have to be willing and able to obey your dominant.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you got to listen more and don't speak.
Yep. For
Yeah.
real.
Like I do that all the time. You know what I mean? All the
Don't
time.
speak.
The bad
I
kid in the
listen.
class don't listen to
Don't
crap.
speak.
Nah, you don't. Yeah, you either do it on purpose.
Don't listen
Full
to
sub
crap.
right here. You know
If
what
y'all
I'm
watch SafeWord, you realize he speaks and doesn't listen. Okay, go ahead.
Negative ghostwriter. I don't listen
Okay,
either.
How
Yeah,
the
I
internet
don't.
connection
Shit.
was up.
I know nothing. Yes. So a sub is required to have a lot of silence. You got to really learn to obey, listen, don't speak. Decisions that you make aren't yours.
Right. Yes, that's an
All
important
right.
one.
So
You no longer have decision power.
you have no decision power. Most of these
Mhm.
decisions that are made are by your dominant.
Yep.
So you understand your place.
Question.
Question. Yes.
So does this
Answer.
get rid of all of that? Where do you want to eat bullshit?
No,
Nah.
Sub's
No?
still
Nah.
hungry.
No.
Oh,
Sub's
man.
hungry.
Sorry.
Switches is hungry.
Mm-mm.
And we hungry.
Nah, that's
You guys are
place.
that's
hungry.
called hangry.
Hangry.
Hangry
I'm
overpowers all of that.
ragingly hangry because I will whoop you if you don't give me some
Man,
food.
I thought I had something for some gentlemen to use in their relationship. Just like,
Yeah,
we're going
no.
to take a submissive role and we're going to
I'm
eat here
hungry.
tonight.
No,
Nah.
don't
I'm
work like
hungry.
that. Don't work like
I
that.
mean, they could tell them what to cook.
And that progress will drain you, man. I need some replenishment.
I could say something there, but I'm gonna leave it alone. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, no, you can't say something there.
Right,
So you're gonna
okay.
leave it alone.
Leave it alone. All
right,
right, so give us another
so-
rule that subs have to follow.
Next one, you got to practice submissive body language. A
What
good
is
sub
that?
will always know their place and they will show you it in every possible way. To
Yep.
achieve this, you can stand in a way that will make you appear a little bit smaller. You know what
Oh, I
I'm saying?
love
Like
it. You say, hey.
You know?
See what it looks like.
I got this.
Like they hold it together like you need the fort.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And this is what Remy
That
tells
whole
us,
fantasy
hold it
just went
together like you
straight
need
down
to
right there.
Nah, you should make constant eye contact with your dominant so you can see if they give you commands. Kind of like if you're in public, a lot of times they'll give you like little they'll tell you
Like your mama when you in the store doing too much.
oh yeah.
Okay, but I got something to add. What if a dom is sitting there saying that it is disrespectful for you to look me in the face? Because that's for me. I'm like, don't raise your eyes at me. Don't look me in the eyes. It's disrespect.
Well,
And the moment you look up and do that, it's disrespect to me.
Well, that's your dom and sub relationship.
Yeah. So it could go
You know
either
what I'm
way.
saying?
It could go either way. Okay.
Yeah, but if you have
Guidelines within your
but there's a lot
construct.
of doms that don't like you looking them dead in their eyes. So you
Right.
got to always look down.
Right.
You know what I mean? You got to
Mhm.
be subservient. That's a subservient thing.
The body
but-
language, right?
but you also have some that, hey, I want you to look directly at me.
Directly at me. Yep.
So you can see me when I talk to you, and you know what's going on, and this, that, and the third.
Yeah.
All right. So another one would be become less assertive.
Mhm.
What I mean by this is your dom is the assertive one in this dynamic. So your goal is to be the exact opposite. So sass, wise talk, all that good stuff. Not it. Unless you're in the brat realm. That's a whole completely different subject though. And we'll talk about that on another platform. Or
We got
maybe
story
not.
time.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see.
Opinions should be kept to
We will
yourself.
see.
Opinions
Join
should be
us on the
kept to
Patreon.
yourself unless asked for from your dom. And once entered this dynamic, you no longer have control over the rules. This is the job of your dom per your negotiations and anything that falls under your contract within the limits you set. The dom is the one making the rules and has every right to make those rules. And you as the sub are to follow them without question.
Yep.
So I have found that subs often look for a dominant to make them better and somehow fix them. But that can't happen if you aren't open and honest with yourself. First and foremost, in all truth, being submissive is not an easy thing. And it requires a lot of work. Not just a lot of work with us as a sub, but a lot of work as a dom as well, because your dom has to be consistent with you.
Yep.
So, all of these things is listed above can sound pretty intimidating and unpleasant for someone new to the idea, or unpleasant to someone getting to know and getting into the sub role.
Right.
All right. But it's not that unpleasant. Especially if you like it.
All right. Very true. Very true.
Because there's some people that enjoy this stuff continuously.
Yep.
So, Miss Aurora.
Oh, yes.
Why would anyone want to submit?
Why would
are there different types of subs like there are different types of doms?
Okay, so we want to know why would anybody want to submit and if there are different types of subs. Well, I mean, here's the deal. There's actually a lot of reasons why somebody might want to submit, and that's really tailored to the individual person and their wants, desires, needs, as the sub. But we can kind of just go through some kind of the basics of why somebody would want to submit. Because like if you hear that word sub, you hear what we're saying and telling you what you have to do as a sub. It sounds pretty intimidating. It sounds kind of scary. You're just like, nah, I'm not doing that, especially with all the social constructs that we just got done talking about. I mean, it's a power struggle within your own head, right? So powerful people sometimes need to be a submissive. And what I mean by this is, let's give an example here. And in a lot of my placings that I've dealt with, it's been very high value, very powerful CEOs, executives of companies running 400 to 500 companies, that kind of thing, where they're having to make schedules for everyone and tell people what to do and hire and fire and make the meetings for the next day. And I mean, they just got a list after a list after a list, not to mention their home life. Okay. So when you're dealing with that kind of demand on yourself, sometimes you just need a space, a free space, a safe space where you can release, let go, and not have to make the decisions. Like think about it. If you're sitting there making the decisions every single day about what you have to do, sometimes that can get exhausting. And a lot of people will just take a break or a vacation. Other people need a release where they can completely let go. What did you have to say? Sasha, I see the hand going up.
I know. So in a way, it's like, so it's like a relationship. Like if you're married, you as a woman are always assumed to assume the submissive role, but within that, you're assuming a submissive role without it being mapped out and seeing if there is a power exchange in it. At least in scene, it's like the dynamic of a relationship. One is in charge and whatever, but we have guidelines, we've talked, we're seeing what we're trying to work through and not just unsung kind of position.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, a lot of people that are in these powerful positions need a place where they can be vulnerable, where they can be free, where they can release, where they can let go, right? And believe it or not, it's actually proven that by trusting another person with our deepest fantasies, we can decrease anxiety and increase creativity. So, I mean, I know all of us have some kind of anxiety. Y'all want to release some anxiety, become a sub. Y'all want some creativity, you want to learn how to paint? Be a sub. No, I'm just playing. But it's much like meditation, okay?
Yeah.
BDSM can help us focus on the present moment, like being here in the present moment, which is something that a lot of us don't do. We're always planning for the future or looking back in the past, or hey, I've got to do this, that, or the other. What being a sub does and being put into that position makes you focus right the heck here, because there isn't much else that you can focus on. And after all, it's really hard to practice, to sit there and go, okay, what's going on next Monday's meeting? What am I planning for dinner? When you're having your ass whooped. I mean, like, it just takes you to a different place. You can't sit there and make, plans and schedules and all this other stuff. You're here, you're right here, okay? Because this is what's going on. And there's physical things that are pulling you into the present moment, right? Some people honestly just crave being in a subspace. So what a subspace is it's an altered state of consciousness, right? One experiences when being tied up during sex. This is when one feels totally released from stress in the present moment. So that's what subspace is. It's almost like a euphoric state that people crave. And a lot of times it can be way better than any other kind of substance that you would use to get to that piece. It's a healthy way to do that, okay? So just a quick list of some of the benefits that might come from being a submissive are, y'all ready for this? I put this one as the top list. I'm going to go through my list and I'm just going to see what my crew thinks here. So you get to be a part of the life of a dominant god or goddess. So if you're seeing one of us beautiful SafeWord crew members right here and you want to be a part of our lives, sign up to be a sub. Anyways, you get the attention of the satisfaction of helping your dom in any way that they wish. And for subs, that's what they're looking to do. They're looking to please. A lot of times, even if it's just you lead a very dominant lifestyle, inside you are a people pleaser. And that's something that you like to do, okay? So you get your dom's attention, like one-on-one attention by being controlled and managed, right? So if you're in a 24/7 relationship and you guys are live-in, and let's say just a regular vanilla relationship where you guys are living in, there's kids, there's this, there's that, like everyone's mentioned tonight, right? But when you're in that dynamic of a power exchange, you're going to get 24/7 some kind of attention because there's always behavioral modifications that need to happen and be discussed. So one way or the other, you're getting one-on-one attention. You get the thrill of serving under the threat of punishment. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people that really do get off and get excited, and it drives them to a whole new level when you threaten them with the level of a punishment. You do this and that sends people through the roof, okay? You get to come up with creative ways to make your dom smile. Don't you all want to just, Miss Sasha, smile for, see, you want to make a smile. You get the intense emotions that are involved with a total power exchange, because there really are some very intense emotions. And as a sub, you can really learn about yourself in a total power exchange. It really makes you check in here, because really that's where you're at. You're present, you're here, it's about you. It's really not about the other person, it's about you.
You realize so much in the scene that you run from your life so much, and this is the one place you can.
Yep. It's where you have to face your inner self. Okay. You get a structure of strict rules and protocols. You get training to be molded into whatever your dom is wishing or desires or requires, right? You get catharsis through degradation and humiliation. And really, honestly, like with a dom, where their catharsism is, releasing and giving the pain,
Catharticism.
Yes, sorry. Catharticism through giving these things, right? A sub gets that from receiving. Okay. So you get into this headspace of feeling completely owned, which is very advanced. Okay, we might get into that on the Patreon. So if you guys want to join the Patreon, I can break that down. You get a relationship without arguments. Now, what I mean by this, I put this in there because in a lot of vanilla relationships, or in a lot of just relationships in general, communication is something people work on, but communication isn't a requirement. A lot of times when you get into a relationship, or maybe it is in the beginning, but the communication falls off. When you're in a BDSM lifestyle relationship, communication is the forefront. It is the key. So you don't have a whole lot of arguments unless somebody's deviating from the negotiations and the things you guys have discussed.
It's usually a bratty sub.
You're right. And usually you don't even really have arguments. It's like, okay, look, you deviated from A, B, C, D, E, F, G. We need to renegotiate. Okay. And then you get a lifestyle that's fun, educational, and as Mr. Kane said, there are some challenges. But those challenges you can use to get to know yourselves. Those challenges you can use to help you step further into your submission and figure out where you want to sit. Okay. Challenges aren't a bad thing. People see challenges as a bad thing. They're not. It's a better way of getting to know yourself, really, honestly. And for some of you, you just get to be yourself, right? I mean, if that's what you're into and that's how you were predisposed to be, then you get to just release and be yourself. And it's a safe space and environment to do that in. But as far as the different types of subs, okay, I'm going to open this up to my cast because I want to see if my cast be knowing some stuff. Okay, y'all say you got some subs, y'all saying you're diamond, and y'all working this little thing. So I'm going to give you some names of subs, some labels of subs. Now, here's a key side note, okay? You don't have to use a label to be a sub. You don't have to use labels at all. These are just some basic labels that are out there, okay? And you could be one, more, three, four, five, all of them at the same time while you're in this submissive position, okay? So it's not just limited to one. So let's start this off with my first question, which is, and don't y'all jump at once, what is a service-oriented sub? Who wants to take this? Ooh, Remy's hand went up first. Go ahead, Ram. What's a
service-oriented sub? Basically, they live for like servitude. They some of them actually will physically serve you like plates and dinner, and you bring your friends, have them serve plates and dinner to them and stuff like that. Like they like that type of stuff.
Right. I mean, does anybody here have a personal relationship or a personal experience with a service sub?
I love service-oriented submissives.
Okay.
Those are some of, like, I don't know if a dom was like a fairy godmother or a fairy godfather. I mean, like a service-oriented sub is like the best minion to have in your back pocket. You know, they're house cleaners. They're like little house fairies just running around. You know, I don't like folding laundry, but as a service-oriented sub, whether you like folding laundry or not, it gets done.
Yep.
So those are always really cool to have around. I mean, I love them. I don't tell them that, but I do.
Do you have a personal experience, Miss Sasha, with a service-oriented?
I do. I don't know if it would constitute of it because I get a hodgepodge of people wanting things, but we talk about what we want. But I've had pay pigs who like doing services for me. They like to wash my clothes. They like to hand wash my intimates. They like to make sure that my feet look good, my hands look good. So when I am putting them in their place, I look accordingly how their fantasy is of me. So it's a pay pig situation, but they like to give service to me. So maybe I'm just a non-conventional switchy dom, but yeah, I've had pay pigs that definitely love to give.
That's definitely a thing. And I've had pay pigs that do things like that. I've also had live-in slaves that, I don't like doing the dishes. So guess what? I'll cook. You cleaning the entire kitchen. And I mean, I want my grout clean.
Floor and then
you know what I'm saying? Right.
Yeah.
We're going to clean the grout with a toothbrush. Like my house going to be spotless.
Yeah. Your food. And then when you're done, you go do the dishes.
Right. And they like doing it. It's not something that you're doing to them that is like, oh my gosh, this is so horrid. They are asking for it. It's negotiation per the contract. So I'm going to move on to the next one because we talked about service-oriented sub. and I brought up something, but I want a different description than what I just gave. Okay. So what is a slave sub?
Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable?
I get it.
the name, the labeling, the
Boom.
labeling.
No, just I dealt with a slave type sub a couple of years ago, and it was just a plethora of uncomfortable situations because of the submissiveness they were willing to put forward. They wanted racial degradation, and they got to a point where it was like, I understand that's what you're looking for. I understand that's what you're asking for. I understand that we're in a privacy setting.
That's your hard limit. That's
yeah,
okay.
that's
Exactly.
That's your hard limit. So yeah, no, I mean, and that could definitely, that's kind of stepping outside of like what you would consider a slave sub. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely run into people that want that kind of thing. And for me, that's a hard limit as well.
Oh my God, I forgot what I was gonna say. What is it called when someone likes not degradation?
Humiliation?
Race play. It's close to
race
like
play.
race play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
some
that's
people
race
have
play.
real
Yeah,
hard
race play.
limits with that.
Yeah. So I mean, Remy, do you have something that you want to tell us? What's a slave sub?
Slave sub. Hold on.
Okay. So a slave sub.
Wouldn't that be like along the lines of a gimp, just somebody who's completely subservient, almost to a fault, just do whatever they're told, you know, like you don't feel bad or anything about what you tell them to do or what they're doing because they're all too willing to do whatever you're asking.
Yes, pretty much. That's pretty much it. I mean, like that takes that whole obey, listen, don't speak to a whole nother level. A slave sub does not act out. A slave sub does not, like, yes, mistress, yes.
You got to be careful what you
whatever
tell a
need.
slave sub.
Right.
I mean, if you want a footrest for that night, you better get down on all fours and, your dom gets to rest their feet on you. So,
and even with the dom, like even when you, in my opinion, when you have those situations where you like to be a total slave, it's okay to like say, yo, these are my limits with things, maybe not my heart. Like it's good to talk about those things because they can get out of hand real fast.
And it's somebody who likes to be owned. So when we were talking about like some of the benefits, it's someone who enjoys being owned, which is a very advanced thing, but that's where the collars come into play. A slave sub, that's where the collars come into play. So if you see somebody wearing a collar, they are owned. And as a doms out there, this is something I really want to touch on. If you see a collar, stay the heck back or talk to their dom before you talk to their sub. Like that's not okay. So a collared slave sub, you don't approach that person without talking to their dom.
In layman's terms,
you're
like
into it too.
You don't go to a woman if you know that that's the situation. You do not go to a woman to go talk to her because that's grounds for you to get in trouble and her to get in trouble.
And her to get in trouble.
We can all get in trouble together.
So it's a similar situation. If that's just the lingo and the way you think, then it would be similar to that. You got to stay in your lane.
The only thing that's appropriate to ask a collared sub is, where is your dom?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, normally a slave sub wouldn't approach you, but like,
maybe if they're insane or something like that, but like if you see somebody collared at Walmart and you're asking directions or
that's different. That's different. But I'm talking about like if
conversations.
Oh God, we could what if that all day.
These people are normal individuals as well.
Yeah.
This is just certain things
that's
that
okay
they live.
out in public, and a lot of times people don't understand the lifestyle. So yes, if you're asking directions, that's something totally different. But I'm talking about like if you're at a BDSM event, if you're at a munch party,
that's why I was saying. That's why
if you're somewhere like
walk up to them.
Pride, okay, Pride. People walk around in collars at Pride. You don't approach that woman or that man in a collar. You approach their dom.
If you have any inkling or any knowledge or understanding and you willfully go to be disruptive, that's what you should not do.
Yeah, because you're going to get that sub in trouble too. So, okay, moving on. What is a pain slut sub?
Fun.
I concur. Okay, but what can we elaborate for our viewers, please?
So, is a pain slut someone who lives to be
physically?
Yeah, I'm trying to degraded, like physically.
I was just trying to help.
all
That's
the
all.
time.
Punish.
You know me, sub.
Huh?
They
I was asking
li-
a real question. Shut up.
they live to
No,
be
it
for
is.
real.
punished.
No, they live to be punished. Like they
Yeah.
like, yes, that's basically it. They like pain. I mean, it's in the title. And
Usually they're like referred to as brats because they do break the rules in order to receive a punishment.
Well, brats would fall under that category, but there are pain slut slubs that are completely submissive, that don't challenge the authority, but they do want to be that is their thing, is punishment. There's nothing outside of that. Yeah.
So does a pain slut get physical, like sexual gratification out of this, or is this just like mentally? Because I would assume that is like
they literally,
because they get off on
tears streaming down your face.
Yeah.
Enjoying it.
It. They enjoy it. They like it. They love it. They're here.
I think that's what I was trying to say before.
Yeah.
Like it's sexual. It's more sexual with the pain slut.
Well, and not necessarily. Sometimes it can, because I've had, like when we were talking about that, I've had CEOs and execs and stuff and I've had CEOs, execs that are pain slut slubs. That's what they do. That's what they like. But they're looking for that pain as a release, kind of like people who are cutters. Okay. And they use that as a form of release. Pain slut sub would use pain as a form of release. And so it's negotiated on how far you can go. There's, you can use red light, green light system, whatever you need to use. But what they're there for is the pain. So that's where you get into more extreme kind of doming type of deals, like fire play, knife play, medical.
It's where masochism really steps in within the BDSM scene.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
a whole other avenue that we'll probably get onto.
Medical play.
Yeah, we'll get onto that on another live, on another video.
If you have a pain slut sub, it's a good idea to have like some first aid nearby close, because they will push it to a limit.
Yep. And you as the Dom also need to know your sub really well, because sometimes when you're dealing with somebody that is like that, they don't know when to cut it off. They don't. And you have to go, okay, here's where we're ending this
not know when to say no.
Yep. Okay, so next one. What is a little sub?
Like a little person?
Yeah, it's like short. They're like this tall.
No. What's a little? Go ahead, Miss Sasha.
Is a little someone who likes to portray themselves as like childlike, not necessarily a
pretty princess,
but very like, oh no, I did that wrong. No, may I fix this, please?
Yep,
or
you
just
can
making
find
yourself. Yeah,
right. That's where the yes daddy comes from. Like if you've ever heard that within the BDSM lifestyle terms on videos, like movies, whatever. Yes, daddy. Yes, mommy. That's where it comes from. In scene, they can be found to want to cuddle with teddy bears and toys and play with toys. Like they regress. Lollipops. They regress to the age of 17 to 16. I mean, it just depends on the person. But I mean, it can go all the way back to baby play. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And they want to suck thumbs and have their diaper changed and bottles. And
Is this arena different than age play? Because in my mind, it blurs the line of age play and just wanting to feel small, like regressing to being a child.
Go ahead, Remy. Take it.
I feel like, is that different, or am I tripping?
Go ahead, Remy.
It can be, but age play is a lot. It's not sexual. It's like it's more of a treatment.
Therapy.
Or it's more of a treatment. How
comfortable arrangement, like older women just make me feel comfortable, not actually get off, but I appreciate that. So that would be more age play.
Go ahead, Kane.
So the way I always like to describe it is the degree of adorableness.
There you go. That's a great way to describe it.
So when you're dealing with age play, it's more about reverting into a certain age and behaving as if you were that age. Whereas when you start talking about as a little, it's somewhat kind of dealing with an age play, but they're not necessarily restricting themselves to a certain age group or bracket. They're more or less behaving in a way like that would be cute or adorable.
They're mimicking it. They're acting.
Yeah. So it's like with the teddy bears and things, it's like they want you to tell them to make their bed, and they want you to, keep an eye on them while they're putting their stuffies, their stuffed animals and everything in place and everything. And they're really looking for that affirmation, almost like a parent-like agreeableness when interacting with them. Whereas with age play, they're looking for that assertive parenting style rather than the "aw." So
Right. Oh, you did such, so like when you're playing with someone that's a little, oh, you did such a good job. Did you clean up all your toys? That's awesome. You did so good. Versus age play where it's like, get your toys cleaned up right now. No, stop it. Sarah, pick it up now. You know, there's a difference. Yeah. So just to kind of give you an example.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Okay. And what we've been talking about all night.
I do. Yeah,
Right.
duh, I am the switch.
What we've been talking about all night. What is a bratty sub? Linda, look here, Linda.
Listen, Linda. Hey,
Listen,
listen.
Linda.
Bratty subs are annoying.
Yeah.
Annoying.
You love to be annoyed, though. That's why you have bratty stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You like the challenge. So for a Dom, honestly, if you're playing with a bratty sub, because I mean, I do, I'll play with a bratty sub, but I like it because there's a challenge. There's a challenge. They're going to put you through it, and you've got to find a creative way to make it a punishment because they're looking for a punishment. So it can't be a punishment that they like. You know what I'm saying? Like you might give them a little bit of what they like, and then it's like, okay, this is a real punishment because you're really acting bratty at this
That's
point.
the point. You want to push them to it, like, okay,
Right.
you done messed up now.
Right. And I like playing with the bratty sub because it keeps those creative juices flowing. And like, you got to kind of play that like double dutch of like, okay, all right, that was a little bratty. I'll let you get away with that one. Oh, we're getting serious. Okay, punishment's coming. You know what I'm saying? So it's a give and take, and it's really like improv. Like if we're comparing it to acting, it would be improv. You're acting off of what that other person is giving you, and you have to be quick and on your toes to do that. So yes, that would be a bratty sub. We've got story time coming up on Patreon. If you want to hear a story about a bratty sub that SafeWord had to deal with. All right. So next one, what is a rope bunny sub?
Rope bunny sub likes to be tied up.
Yeah, there we go. Yep, likes to be tied up. And
tied up in every way possible.
Yeah, and it's not just being tied up. Some rope bunny subs like to just be tied up. Okay, you can use handcuffs.
Or they just like to hang out. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of them, though, are very much into the art form of rope play. Okay, so like you had got to know certain knots, certain ties, intricacies, how to hang them, the whole nine. They're really, really into that. And if you don't know your stuff, don't mess with a rope bunny sub because they will let you know very quickly that you don't know your stuff. So that would be a rope bunny sub. Okay, and the very last one, what is a sex sub?
Oh. Sex sub is just all the way submissive in sex. Like while having when they're having sex. It pretty much says itself. But they could also be sexually submissive to whomever.
Yeah. Okay.
If the dom allows.
But also the other side of that. Yeah, that's a very good point. But also the other side of that is a sex sub is somebody who is literally within negotiations and let's say you have a soft limit. Okay. You're not going to say no. You're going to push past that. You're going to figure out, hey, like I'm going to take it to the next step. You're not going to say no. There's a lot of times where as a sex sub, you want to try it all. And you run into a lot of people like that. So as the dom, you really need to know your stuff messing with the sex sub as well, so that you know where your limits lie at least. Okay.
You got a MacGyver with like a sex sub. You got to be like, all right, get me some petroleum jelly, 2 Q-tips, and a length of rope.
Right. Exactly. It's another way to be very creative. Bratty subs, rope bunny subs, and sex subs, you've got to know your stuff. So don't jump into that arena as a dom, please. That's how people get hurt. If you don't know your stuff. Okay. But I mean, these were all really great answers. And I think we all kind of get the hang of what a sub is now, I think, right? I mean, we gave a lot of information tonight, right? Yeah. Why somebody would want to be a sub. The challenges, as Mr. Kane said, there's lots of challenges with being a sub just within your own mind and your own head, right? And the different types of subs. And really, honestly, there's no wrong way to be a sub. I mean, these are labels that we're giving you, but you don't have to fit any of these brackets. How you choose to play,
do it.
To choose to play. Just make sure you're playing safe. Make sure that you're vetting your dom. Make sure that you're giving it to someone you trust, you know, so that you can relinquish your control the right way, right?
Just do it.
Much like the saying goes, if you're a crooked lid, there's a crooked pot out there for you.
Exactly. So if you like to relinquish control, we here at SafeWord are here for it. Okay, hit us up.
Just do it. Do it now.
To tonight's game. So Mr. Remy won the game last week, right? And he is ready and prepared to set the scene. And much like our sub counterparts that we spoke about tonight, we have no choice but to play.
Dun, dun, dun. So tonight's game.
So, Mr. Remy.
Very simple.
Yes. Well, how did we play this?
Very simple game. It's called Never Have I Ever.
Ooh, okay.
The SafeWord edition.
SafeWord edition. Ooh.
So, all right. So basically, you come up with a never have I ever done this. Never have I ever licked a lollipop. But if you've never licked a lollipop and everybody else has, that's 3 points for you.
Okay. So you get a point per person. So if I say never have I ever, and it's whatever, and let's say only Kane goes, oh, I've done that. Bam. And everybody else doesn't put up their hand, then I only get 1 point.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Who's up first?
Why me?
No, I said, who's up first? Remy's running this.
Definitely Kane. He volunteered himself.
Right. Like, no,
I was talking about what Aurora said. It was like, oh, Kane's done this. Like, why me?
Yeah. He volunteered himself.
Oh, God. All right. So my first question tonight, hopefully.
No, you're never have I ever.
I think you haven't done. Yeah, well, I'm hoping that I'm dealing with some deplorables because the best questions that I can come up with were some deplorable situations.
Right. Oh my God, it was so hard. It was harder than I thought. I was like, Dad, why did I come up with this game?
It's like just to keep it fun, but man, I don't think I'm gonna get points.
And then
tonight.
Some things you just can't say on YouTube.
Right. Exactly. Right.
All right. So never have I ever stolen a sub from another dom.
No. Oh, no points. Oh, wait, hold on, Remy. You got to be honest. Remy.
Oh, am I playing? Oh,
have you?
Kane, 1 point.
Kane, 1 point.
On the board. That's all that matters. On the board. Not a clean sweep, but on the board.
Right.
That was a good one. I would have never thought of that, though. Dang. Why didn't I say that? In my mind.
Okay, go ahead. Who's next? Mr. Remy.
You know what? I'll go.
Okay, cool.
All right. Let's see. I got notes. All right. Never have I ever had sexual intercourse with more than 10 women at a time.
More than 10 women?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Damn it, I was like 9 short.
I was literally only 2 short.
Oh.
I said that number 4 reasons.
So no points for you. No soup for you.
Were you there? No, you wasn't there.
Were you there? No, you wasn't there.
It was college.
I mean, did it actually need to happen? I mean, because I've had some vivid dreams.
Right.
I've had some realistic dreams too.
I had a threesome with 2 bipolar chicks once. I mean, does that count?
Hey, that does count. I got a point. Okay. All right, next up, Sasha.
Okay. Never have I ever forgot about a sub on in punishment.
Oh, God dang it.
Are you serious?
Question. What? Definitely serious. Have you ever left a sub on punishment?
That reminds me.
Right? Hold on.
Sometimes I forget there's even a punishment being had.
Oh, so
about
she
your
got
day.
2 points on that one. She got 2 points on that one.
Yeah,
I had a sub fall asleep in the corner one time.
They were so comfortable.
comfortable.
I'm not gonna say mine. It was bad.
No. Mm-mm. Let's go.
All right.
Let's hear it.
No, I ain't telling the story. Too many people watch this show. Never have I ever. Let me think here. I had a really good one and now I've lost it.
Boom, 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 boom.
Never have I
He
ever
does.
forgotten the name of someone that I'm sleeping with.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-mm.
How about never knew the name?
Yeah, I was gonna say, was that
See,
like I thought I
See?
knew, but it ended up
you
being
know when
wrong?
we got the alcoholics in here.
Yeah, no, not
Yeah.
I've never
alcoholics.
done
How
that.
about
I've never done that.
the band with
Y'all
the
are important to
cups?
me.
I'm drinking
Oh, I
rum
forget about my
and
subs.
Red Bull.
Sometimes you just didn't bring your F's today, and you just be like, "Damn, he said something."
Two points.
Like, honey,
I just knew her as dude's sister. I mean,
Don't make the game and I'm
oh,
losing.
that's bad.
Dang. Okay. All right. Who's next?
For me?
Done that too.
no, it's
Or
Oh.
back to Kane, back to
Yes,
Kane.
back to Kane. Senior Marcos.
never have I ever been thrown out of a fetish party or BDSM event.
What if you
Okay,
got
so
too
you-
drunk outside and you
so-
couldn't get back in?
Never have I ever been thrown out, escorted
Thrown
out,
out. Thrown out.
has security gotten involved.
Not at a not at that kind of event.
I've
No.
been thrown out. What if
Brum,
security
brum,
swept with you?
brum.
An orgy, like at somebody's house, anything, just like at an event, place, scene, party.
No, not thrown out.
Not thrown
Oh,
out.
you got to know the rules. You got to live by the rules.
Those events are fun. You shouldn't get thrown out.
Right, exactly. What the heck?
Well, I hadn't. I was just, like I said, I based questions that were like, oh, I hope I work with deplorables.
It's all right. I had a 0 too. I
Oh,
had a zero
Mr.
in there.
Roy. Mr. Roy said that he could win this game.
Never have you ever. All right.
Ever.
Okay. So,
Ever.
me
We welcome
next.
all levels over here, okay?
All right. Never have I ever had sex with food that wasn't a condiment.
Never have I ever what?
Had sex with food that wasn't a condiment.
Wasn't a
Sex
condiment.
to the food or just in plain
No,
with?
not sex to the food. I'm not.
I
This ain't- this ain't- this ain't-
Doing a
I'm
fucking
not-
cantaloupe.
Actually,
I was gonna say, like,
I actually
cucumber
have tried
squash
that, so
and-
I'm not even
And a
going.
couple gourds.
A warm cantaloupe does work.
Well, okay, wait, hold on. Because like
It does. That's all I'm
does
saying.
fruit count? Does fruit count?
It's not a condiment.
Right. Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
then yeah, I have.
I mean, if you've used food, if you've done food play,
Cucumbers. No.
No, strawberries.
I'm gonna be quiet because cucumbers ain't wrong,
yeah,
but
I
other
guess.
stuff.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about fruit.
Cucumbers
No,
ain't that wide,
we're not including fruit. We're not including fruit.
Not including fruit? Okay.
Not including fruit.
I know you changing it up after we tell our story.
All right.
Damn.
Okay. All right. That's my
Take
point.
it
Never
back.
mind.
You
Give me.
can't
I'm
do that,
taking them all.
Faye.
Okay, so you need to be more specific. Like, have you ever done
right, I got
something with a
points. Never mind.
cheeseburger?
Go ahead.
I mean, like
Right.
I had a European chick who wanted me to use a kielbasa. I mean, does that count or?
Yeah, that counts.
Okay, well
that
then.
definitely counts.
Okay, then wait. Yes. Okay.
All right, Miss Sasha Venture, step up to the plate.
Okay. Never have I ever gotten oiled up and put myself in latex.
Oh. Okay. Okay. Put your hand up, Boo Boo. Go ahead. Put your hand up.
Was that a
Yeah,
real
y'all
hand
must-
up? Nah.
Oh.
Gosh.
Hey that
I'm
pain.
learning
And you
some
know what?
things
God damn it,
about
I'm
you,
proud of it.
sir.
It was just pants.
Ain't nobody judging here, honey.
Oh, I
Good
know.
job.
Okay.
Red
What
versus
point?
leather.
What you did too?
It's gonna be
Remy?
red versus leather. That's what.
Oh, shut up. So just 1 point.
Actually, it would be leather versus blue, huh?
Jesus.
All right.
All right. Miss Aurora Storm.
Never have I ever. This is really hard. Okay.
Never.
Never.
I told you it was difficult.
Because I've had a lot of experiences.
It's hard, and
Bad.
you're like, nope, did that.
Nope,
Wait a minute.
Nope, wait, I did that. Wait, nope, I did
Mhm.
that.
Can't say that one on.
You can't say that one at all. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because the stuff that I haven't done, you can't say on YouTube.
Mhm.
Let's see. Never have I ever played in water sports.
Wait, what? Never have I ever what?
Played in water sports.
That like either
I've done
side
it.
of water sports?
I've
Either
done it.
side. Done to someone or had it done on you.
Done to someone.
So that's a point.
Had it
for
done
me.
on me.
No, nobody else? No? Oh. This Sasha's like, mm-mm. Mm-mm.
That's a
Yeah,
lie.
anyway, no.
She done peed on somebody before.
What?
Nothing. I ain't saying anything.
All right. Do we have another round? We got one more round or
Yes,
what?
we got one more round. One
Okay.
more.
All right. So it's kicking it back off to Mr. Kane. That's hard, right?
Never have I ever used a form of contraception that wasn't made for contraception. So if you've ever used saran wrap,
Damn.
you ever used some
Saran
latex
wrap.
gloves.
Yep.
Saran wrap.
Yeah, I've used both
That
of
was a
those
good one.
too.
You got all three of us in that one. That was good.
So can I tell a quick story real fast?
As long as it's quick.
All right. So there was this dude in India who didn't have a rubber. And so he went looking around his house, and I want to know what was going through this dude's mind when he decided to grab epoxy and a caulking tube and use that to seal his urethra off.
His member.
His member. And that unfortunate soul is no longer with us due to complications that arose from that instance.
You and your freaking bad news. Okay, on to
Oh no, I was cracking up like when they were telling that story, and they were just like, "Oh yeah," and then he had to go to the emergency room, and then that I was like, "Ah, damn!" But I just want
Mr.
to know what
Marcos
was
is
running through dude's
currently in
head.
the lead.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Oh, okay. Miss Sasha, no, Remy.
Remy.
Yep.
Oh yeah, it's me. Hold on. Never
having
have
too much
I
fun.
ever had my nipples clamped.
Fuck you.
This game. Finding out some information.
What?
Dang.
So none of the. Damn, I thought I was going
Not
to get
even
3
to
points on
try,
that.
like not even just for a split second. Like, what is this clamp doing?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yes.
Nope.
Not
Yes,
my
you
that's
have.
not my
Nope.
speed.
I got
Mhm.
homework for y'all too.
You tried it.
I have clamped other people. I've never done it to
Yeah,
myself.
I've claimed other people.
Mhm.
Never
Nah,
have
see,
I ever.
I put it on my finger and I was like, nope, not happening.
No, right. It's like, no, and I watched, nope, I'm good. I'm good.
All right, me and Kane tied.
My turn.
Yep, it's your turn.
Never have I ever had a in-home slave.
Sasha took the lead.
For freaking real? Kane, you ain't never had an in-home slave?
No, I have. That's not what she said.
Well, then
Right.
raise your
So then
hand.
put your hand up.
So
I thought you said she's never had one.
It's all right, you got your
She's
point.
never had
Never have
one.
I ever.
She's
Ah.
never had one. Right. If you have to put your hand up.
Oh, okay. I
Yep.
got one right now.
You better give us some water.
I know, right? Why are you forgetting about the poor girl?
I didn't forget about her.
He's
So
like,
long as
doing
she's doing what
her
she's told, she should be fine.
She is sitting over there being the chair. She should be sitting at like being the chair in the corner.
all right. Never have I ever fantasized about
In the box. Oh,
fantasized about God, how do I put this on YouTube? Okay, hold on. Never have I ever fantasized about I can't use this one. Okay, never mind.
yes, you can.
No, I don't know how
wanna
to.
know
I
it
don't know how
now.
to like make this like filtered.
No, just bleep, bleep, and
No,
all that.
I'll pick a different one. I'll pick a different one because it's something that I can't even freaking say. Okay, so
Just make it so we can figure it out.
all right. Never have I ever fantasized about
1, 2, 3.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, all the same sex. Does that make sense? Like if you're a
Yeah.
female, then you're getting 2, and if you're a male, then you're getting 2.
Wait, all 3 the same sex?
No. So like you're
Oh.
the odd one out. Does that make sense?
Oh, never.
Yeah.
Okay, never have I ever had a 3.
So like cuckolding, basically.
cuckolding. Oh,
Yeah. Never have I ever
fun. Never have I ever cuckolding.
fantasized.
Oh, fantasize. Oh,
Oh yeah,
Okay.
fantasize about it.
mm.
Oh, I got a point on that one.
Kane, you ain't that.
You ain't never-
Fantasize about
That
cuckolding.
wanted me to do it, and he took him down.
About doing it to somebody.
Yeah,
Oh, about doing it to somebody.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. What's Sofia Vergara's husband's name? Shit.
You know what I'm saying?
There's 2 points
know.
right there. There's 2 points right there.
Yeah, but you ain't beating Sasha.
No, I'm not wrong with that one.
The end of the game. Good
And the
job,
winner
guys.
is.
I got a
And
fun
the winner
bonus
is
round.
Miss Sasha.
Yay! I'm gonna say you better not say my name.
You got a fun bonus
Kane,
round. What's your bonus round, Kane?
Mr. Marcos, huh? You want a
Oh,
I
bonus
got a
round?
fun bonus question.
Oh,
Not for
Bonus
points, not for the
question?
lead, not for the win or anything. Never have I ever fantasized about a cast member, past or present.
Nope.
yeah, everybody raising their hand on that, and you lying.
No, I don't lie.
He ain't
You ain't
talking to
never-
you.
Oh wait,
I'm
you
not-
talk about a
I'm-
cast
I'm
member
doing
amongst
this.
us?
Yeah.
Man, what?
What? I'm gonna be real.
Kane, you were there.
Sasha said,
Yeah, and it promptly got ruined, which just completely obliterated any type of.
Kane,
No,
you were there.
Never have
So was
I ever.
Sasha.
Never have a
Sasha-
motherfucking ever. I can't
Sasha
never.
was there
Man,
too.
I done take the glasses off on that one. I put some bass in my voice.
And Remy
Never have
said Sasha was there for it
Hey, Sasha, move your camera down a little bit.
too. Nigga, for real. That's just a look. Beep. Question. All right.
What's up? What you say?
All right. So this is our show for the night. Mr. Kane, would you like to take us out? Miss Sasha won the game for the night. So
Yep,
she
she
will
had
make
6
our
points.
game for next week. All right. Miss Sasha's got the game for next week. So go ahead and take us out real quick. I'm gonna let everybody know that once we go off, you will see the link to our Patreon. So if you want to follow us over that way, join the Patreon so that you can see the rest of this live. And we're gonna do a deep dive and a story time on a Bratty Sub. So join us over there. Go ahead, Mr. Kane.
All right, everybody, that's our show for YouTube tonight. We hope you enjoyed following us. We hope you enjoyed the content that we put out there tonight. There was a lot of information, things that you guys should look over. If you guys want, rewatch this video a couple times, just that way you know you're not missing anything. We certainly enjoyed being a part of this crew tonight and giving this information to all of you. So do us a favor, like, comment, subscribe so we can continue to keep bringing you guys new, fresh content every single week. But that's all we have for you guys tonight. Always stay safe and remember your safe word. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out, y'all.
Hey. Wait, so everybody, yeah.
Go join the Patreon. So why you playing? Why you playing?
I'm going to step away for 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
The Patreon. So why you playing?
You shucking and jiving over there?
You know it. You know, something.